Good afternoon. I'm here to talk to you today about the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, better known as TSPLOST. The TSPLOST was supposed to appear on a referendum originally scheduled for the March 24th timeframe. Due to the COVID outbreak, these elections, as you know, have been moved back. Most of the educational material that we distributed and public presentations that we did were before the March timeframe. So I want to take an opportunity to come back today to tell you a few things about TSPLOST and to remind you how very important it is to vote for that, either in the early voting that's occurring now, by absentee ballot, or on the June 9th election. So let's move to the presentation and talk a little bit about TSPLOST. TSPLOST is a 1% penny or 1% on certain goods and commodities bought at the local level. 30% of the proceeds derived from the tax must be spent on statewide strategic plan projects, and we'll come back and talk about those in a minute. The duration of the tax is 5 years. Intergovernmental agreements between governments have to be reached in order to have the 5-year time frame on the tax, which was done here in Liberty County. And the referendum is by simple majority vote. That is 50+1. What can the funds be used for? Transportation purposes only, which means things like roads, bridges, public transit, rails, airports, and buses, and also for bridge purposes. Additionally, as you'll see, it can also be used for sidewalks and bicycle paths, and of course, construction and renovation related to those same type facilities. It can also be used for patching, leveling, milling, widening, and shoulder preparation, culvert repair of existing transportation systems. Some key points of the tax again. It can be used for transportation projects only. The tax will cease at the end of 5 years or when the voter-approved limit of proceeds is reached. It does require a separation of funds between it and any other fund source in the general fund budget. There is an annual report required, just like SPLOST. That report has to be presented on the county's website and distributed to the local media. It does result in a lower match required by the state to receive state local maintenance improvement grant funds. That match is reduced by 20%, from 30% down to 10% if you have a TSPLOST in effect in your county. I'm going to take a look at a quick matrix, a little bit busy. This shows you the gross proceeds on a conservative level estimated to be received through the TSPLOST project. That amount, almost $47 million, would be received over that 5-year period. There does have to be a deduction for fuel tax because tax on fuel will not be assessed for this transportation purposes. So if we're doing an estimate on the amount we might receive, we take a look at total receipts for the county through a special purpose tax and deduct that amount for fuel tax in order to get our estimate. So we anticipate in a conservative mode to receive about $43.6 million over that 5-year period. One mandated requirement under the Act is that you have to set aside what I mentioned before, which was a 30% statewide strategic project requirement. That amount is estimated to be about $13 million. We do make a deduction for project management of $1.3 million, and then the remainder of about $29 million is split among the remaining government entities based on the percentages shown on this chart. So again, these are estimated amounts. As you're aware, the sales tax is an up and down cycle, and so these are in a conservative mode, and I would urge you to focus on the percentages to be distributed to each agency, again, after the 30% is set aside. So you're going to get projects that we're going to take a look at that are the 30% projects, and then you'll also see additional projects proposed by the cities and by the county with the remaining funds at a later date. Some of these 30% projects involve intersection improvement projects and safety projects and new construction with sidewalks. I'm just going to talk about a few. At the Crossroads community in Riceboro, where most of the what we call bypass traffic is happening now, there would be an improvement done to possibly put in a traffic circle, thereby creating a safer intersection for that traffic that's expected to pick up once the formal bypass is constructed. Interstate Paper Road, which serves as a large employer in our county, would also have some work done on its approximately 3 miles of roadway, which has deteriorated from the weight of log trucks through the last several years. You see some others there with signals and intersection and safety projects at those locations. I do want to point out that some of them do involve safety for schools that will occur. One of those is General Scriven at Highway 84, where there's a turn lane. The other would involve the Flemington High School 84 project, which would provide sidewalks from the new construction in Flemington over to the high school. Let's take a look at the ballot question. Shall a 1% tax for these purposes in a special district, which is Liberty County, for a period of 5 years be engaged? It's a simple yes or no vote. You'd notice on there that the amount estimated for the ballot question is $54 million, and may ask, why is that amount different from the amount previously shown in a conservative value? Remember, the tax sets either when all projects are complete, or the 5 years, or when the max amount is reached. Therefore, what you want to be able to do is to estimate a little higher as far as the ballot question goes, so that you have more to use for projects that may come on board in that 5-year period. The tax also gives a chance for local government entities to possibly use bond funds if they choose to jumpstart these projects. Do that just in case some state funds come available for one of these designated 30% projects or another project, and the state turns to us and says, hey, do you have any amounts that you want to match to go ahead and get your project started? Then it gives the local governments the opportunity to borrow funds to do just that. I think if you've been around the county lately, over the growing period of time, you've observed the traffic flow and what's happened. It's great to be a growing community. It does offer infrastructure challenges, and TSPLOST is certainly a way to be able to meet those infrastructure challenges by not having to fund these projects through property taxes. This allows all the folks who visit here and share these infrastructure needs with us to be able to help pay a share in their improvement. So I hope that you'll remember, whether you're, again, early voting, voting absentee, or choose to wait to June 9th, that you will go and exercise that right to vote for the passage of the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. Thank you very much.